Thank you. We're expecting votes shortly, so I hope that the ranking member and I can get through a round of questions, and then we'll probably take a short recess to come back and have questions from other members, since we're having a couple of tight votes this morning. But let me first start. I have many questions for all of you, so I won't get through those. But I do have a question that literally I think applies to all of you across the transportation sector. I agree, Ms. Petzonk, about safety. It is the most important aspect of, I believe, where we are today. I think we have a variety of trends facing us. We have, obviously, automation in our transportation sector that is across the board of all the interests represented at the table here and the diversity of our transportation system. And we have the human factor interface of automation and transportation. So as automation increases, so do the risks with human factors. Nothing says that more than the incidents of the 737 MAX and what happened. And we have another trend, Ms. Petzonk, that you represent most, which is globalization and what is the rest of the world doing on that. So we, you know, someone said, if you want to be the leaders in aviation, you need to be the leaders in aviation safety. So we want these standards to be met around the globe. And we want to be the leaders in this, including having the right workforce. So I would like to ask each of you, what are the one or two changes that you think we need to make to assure that we are giving the due diligence to this issue of automation, safety, and workforce as it relates to making the United States the leaders here and not laggards, and certainly not adhering to a lower standard on the international front. We want to have the best standard on the international front and lead the way on that discussion. So if you could just, one or two things that you think we need to do to help with that.
Yeah, I think we need to design our systems in a way that prevents human error and takes into account human performance. But then I also think that we need a strong safety foundation. We need safety standards, safety measures that are in place, whether it's on our roads, whether it's automated vehicles, whether it's in aviation. You have to have that framework in place as technology is implemented.
So standards, and the first thing you said was?
Standards, especially in road safety, we have to design our system in a way that creates a system to prevent a driver from making an error in the first place. So much focus has been on driver behavior and how to change driver behavior, and I'm referring just to road safety here, but we have to create a system that prevents that in the first place. That's something that aviation industry has championed in their human factors experts have found and advocate for and try to create systems that are designed around preventing human error.
Thank you. Ms. Hedlund, and we have to go a little faster here, sorry.
All right, thank you. When I was at FRA, certainly safety was its absolutely #1 concern, and we would begin weekly staff meetings, unfortunately, sometimes the recitation of workers who might have died the week before. But let me speak to a development in the freight world. We have the best freight system in the world. And as a result of technology, the freight lines have gone to something called precision scheduled railroading. It's a model adopted by virtually all the Class 1s, but the shippers have found it disruptive. And the communities, one aspect of this is running long trains. We now have sometimes trains that are 3 miles long, and we don't have sidings that are 3 miles long. So as a board member, I'm going to commit to assure that there's appropriate remedial action taken whenever it's warranted.
Thank you. Dr. Hampshire?
Yeah, Chair, thank you for the question. I was actually a faculty member in the human factors group around transportation automation, so this hits home for me. Within the Office of Research and Technology is the Volpe Center,
Yep.
which we do research on, we have a big human factors group And so there, again, continued research about behaviors, human interaction with automation. I think there's more to be done, both at the human factors level and also in Office of Research and Technology is the highly automated safety system center of excellence, which is Congress created and authorized to help us create a workforce and capacity building within the Department of Transportation that's cross-modal. So the bottom line is cross-modal learning. From, the transportation system has a lot of expertise across, from aviation to rail, and we can learn from that.
Thank you. Ms. Petzock.
Thank you, Chair Cantwell, for the question. And you were focused also on the international aspect, and for that, the Office of Aviation and International Services and International Affairs works with our partners in the department, including the FAA, which has the lead for aviation safety, and with our colleagues in the Office of Research to bring the research and results into the standardization bodies like the International Civil Aviation Organization and the World Forum for Harmonization of Vehicle Regulations, so that we can work with our partners around the world to ensure that not only are there high levels of standards globally, but that there's an opportunity for American technologies and American innovations to compete under those standards.
Thank you. I would like a little more refinement on that, but since I got to go to my colleagues, so think about what 1 or 2 changes you think we need to implement now to gain that, because we're not going to tolerate a race to the bottom for ICAO. We're not going to go to the international community and agree that since somebody can do way more automation in planes because they think that that requires less pilot training, we want to go to ICAO with the system that has redundancy. Senator Wicker.